And joining me now on Skype with his analysis is Tom Bevan, co-founder and president of Real Clear Politics. Tom, welcome back. Good to speak with you again. We're following those legal challenges brought by the Trump campaign. What's the status of those lawsuits, and is there any evidence so far of systemic fraud?
Well, the Trump campaign has filed a number of lawsuits in a number of states. In Michigan, for example, we just had a suit filed to try and stop the certification of that vote. And there are plenty of affidavits the Trump campaign has compiled, sworn statements from people who say they witnessed voter fraud. Whether that's considered systemic or widespread enough to change the outcome there remains to be seen. But as I think your reporter said, the count begins tomorrow. There's an audit hand count in Georgia. And then Arizona is the other place where the problem for the Trump campaign is, number one, they have to prove widespread and systemic fraud, not just in one state, but in 3 states. They have to overturn the vote count in 3 states in order for Donald Trump to win the presidency and win a second election. And right now, it does not seem that they have enough evidence in enough states of widespread fraud to make that happen.
Yeah, so there are Republicans who are standing behind the president in his legal efforts, but we're also starting to hear from more Republicans who are saying they're a little skeptical that these lawsuits will result in a path of victory for President Trump. What do you make of that, and what do you think it may indicate?
Well, I think Republicans are trying to give Donald Trump his, space to make his case in court and provide the evidence that the campaign has compiled. He has every right to do that. He should be able to do that, but I think there's going to be, very little tolerance for if these suits do not make their way through court, if they get thrown out, for not beginning the transition process, right? And we've seen some Republicans on Capitol Hill that are a little bit, hesitant about giving Donald Trump, weeks and weeks to continue to say that this election was stolen, that it's fraud, and that he's able to prove it. He has his moment now, but time is short. I think he's got to make his case, or Republicans are going to start to move away from him.
Yeah, well, Republicans and Democrats, as you know, are already looking ahead to the January Senate runoff elections in Georgia. Let's talk about that for a little bit and what you'll be watching for as both parties lay out their political strategies.
Yeah, both parties are already heavily invested in this, sending folks down there. Marco Rubio was down there the other day. We've got some early polling, for what that's worth, showing it a close race. But certainly, I think both parties are going to throw everything they have at this. The stakes could not be higher. If Democrats win both of these seats, they will be at a 50-50 Senate. Kamala Harris will be the tiebreaker if Joe Biden becomes the president. And so both campaigns are going to work very, very hard to do. And we had a story today about how Republicans are now turned around and they are boosting vote by mail. They want people to vote by mail now. And so I'll be watching to see, particularly, can Democrats replicate what they just did in the suburbs around Atlanta? That is the entire ballgame for Democrats. They overperformed in the suburbs. Joe Biden did versus Hillary Clinton 4 years ago. And so the question is, can they sustain that, especially when it's in an off election like a January 5th, when people are going to be going about their regular business? The state still leans Republicans. There are more Republicans there. So if Democrats cannot replicate that turnout, Republicans will probably come out on top.
Well, Tom, thanks so much. We always appreciate your analysis. Tom Bevan, co-founder and president of Real Clear Politics. Thanks again.
Thanks, Tracy.